things just, they make me question, they make me wonder at times. The things that we say, the things that we say, the things that we do, are we truly meaning any of it? As we received our palms this morning, we know that it is Palm Sunday. And on Palm Sunday, we receive palms, we sing praises, we dance, we shout, and it depends on who you're with and where you go and what you do. But we receive these palms, and we go through these motions and we sing. But why do we do it? What is the purpose of Palm Sunday? What? To glorify Jesus. Okay. It signifies the beginning of Holy Week as well, right? Where we come together and we have Palm Sunday, we have Maundy Thursday, and then we have Good Friday, and we have Easter Sunday. What is it that we're celebrating? We're celebrating Christ, yes, but what is it that we're celebrating? If you look back in Scripture, most of us have heard, I understand not everyone has heard the story, but Jesus came into Jerusalem and he's riding a donkey, he's riding a colt, a baby donkey. He's riding on something that is untamable at the age that it is. Yet he's sitting on it, and the people in the streets, they're waving the palms and they're shouting Hosanna, which a lot of people think is a praise. Hosanna means save us. If you know what the meaning is, it's save us. It's not a praise, it's Lord, save us. King, save us. So they're standing in the streets, they're waving palms, they're throwing them at his feet so the donkey can ride across them, and they're throwing their coats and their cloaks and whatever else they had in the street so they could walk on them. Why? What was the reason for it? They were celebrating Jesus, of course. Why? Was it because of the miracles that they've heard or witnessed him do? Was that the reason they were celebrating and throwing palms and treating him like a king? Because that's the way they welcomed royalty. That's the way they welcomed the king into town. When he would return, they would throw palm branches in their coats and their cloaks and whatever else they had for the king to walk on, for his horse to trample into the mud. Why were they treating him this way? Not that this is a very vital, important piece of it, but you have to understand that the Jews of the time, they weren't well educated. A lot of them didn't know how to read. Only if you had money did you get taught how to read. And only if you were lucky and in a wealthy part of town did you get to read more than one scripture. But they studied the scriptures. That's what they read. And they knew the scripture. The prophecy of Zechariah. When Zechariah describes the king, their king, the king of Jerusalem, the king of the Jews, coming in riding on a colt. Now I'm going to read that to you here. It's Zechariah 9, verses 9 through 17. If you want to look it up, I'll give you a second to do that because, as I said, they knew this scripture. They knew it by heart because it was something that they looked forward to. They looked forward to the return of their king, or the coming of their king. So when they saw Jesus get on a donkey, on a colt, and start riding into town, they knew this was a sign. So let me read that to you. Verse 9, rejoice, O people of Zion. Shout in triumph, O people of Jerusalem. Look, your king is coming to you. He is righteous and victorious, yet he is humble, riding on a donkey. Riding on a donkey's colt. I will remove the battle chariots from Israel and the war horses from Jerusalem. I will destroy all the weapons used in battle. and your king will bring peace to the nations. His realm will stretch from sea to sea, and from the Euphrates River to the ends of the earth. Because of this, the covenant I made with you, sealed with blood, I will free your prisoners from death in the waterless dungeon. Come back to the place of safety, all you prisoners who still have hope. I promise this very day that I will repay 2 blessings for each of your troubles. Judah is my bow, and Israel is my arrow. Jerusalem is my sword, and like a warrior I will brandish it against the Greeks. The Lord will appear above his people. His arrow will fly like lightning. The sovereign Lord will sound the ram's horn and attack like a whirlwind from the southern desert. The Lord of heaven's army will protect his people, and they will defeat their armies by hurling great stones. They will shout in battle as though drunk with wine. They will be filled with blood like a bowl, drenched with the blood like the corners of the altar. On that day, the Lord their God will rescue his people, just as a shepherd rescues his sheep. They will sparkle in his land like jewels in a crown. How wonderful and beautiful they will be. The young men will thrive on abundant grain, and the young women will flourish on new wine. The Jews knew this scripture. They saw Christ on this donkey, and they were ecstatic and excited. They were waving their palms. Lord, you're coming. We know you are our King. We are so excited to have you. Lord, save us. Save us today. Save us. That's why they were throwing their palm branches. That's why they were throwing them in the streets. That's why they were crying out, Hosanna. Because they knew that Jesus was coming to fulfill this prophecy. They knew it. However, the prophecy, other than saying on this day, which can be misunderstood, on this day, this will happen. It reads down through. They knew the prophecy, they knew what it said, and they expected everything to happen now. Jesus is coming down the street. We are going to have peace now. We are going to have salvation now. It's all happening now. So, Lord, save us. All right, do it. We're good. We're going to rule the world with Christ. It didn't happen now. It didn't happen right then and there. It wasn't an instantaneous thing. How many of us know what God has told us? We read the scriptures, we understand it or get a grasp of it, and we hear God speak to us. How many of us actually hear God speak to us or think that we hear God speaking to us and giving us direction? It's nothing to be ashamed of. If you haven't heard it, okay. I guarantee He's talking to you, you're just not listening for the right words. Sometimes we look for this big booming voice coming out of the sky saying, I want you to go here. Okay. Sometimes He talks to us through other people. He speaks to us through those around us. But we get this thought and God's talking to us and says, I want you to do this. And we put a time stamp on it. He wants us to get this done. We've got to get that in this amount of time. And when that time frame starts approaching and we're not close enough yet, we start moving that goalpost. Maybe I misunderstood God's timing. Let me move it over here a little bit. And when we pass that time stamp and people start questioning, you know what, maybe I wasn't listening to God correctly. Or maybe I didn't hear. Maybe that was just me. And then we start to question on our own, does God really exist? Sometimes when we pass that point in our mind where we put a timestamp, we start to question in our own mind, did I really hear from God? Or God didn't answer this in my time frame, so I'm not. I'm not doing it no more. I'm not following no more. I got a couple of crazy looks when I said that, but look at the people who have followed Christ for so long. Look at around the world the pastors that have devoted their lives to Christ and know that He's called them to a purpose and a point in their life to do something. And they set a time goal on it. They placed a time frame on it. And when it passed that time frame, they said, you know what, I'm out of ministry. I can't handle this no more. Isn't that what the Jews did? All right, Jesus is coming. All right, save us, Lord. 4 days later, crucify Him. He didn't do it in our time frame. Crucify Him. Think about that. God gave us a promise. He gave the Jews a promise. He gave everybody a promise that Jesus was going to connect the world. From sea to sea to the ends of the earth. And He was going to connect it all. And we expect it now. Because it's God. And God can do that. But He has a plan for it. We don't care about the plan. We just want to see it done. And if you look at the world right now, those who are Christian, those who are followers and believers, if we could take the believers and put them on a map, like a cell phone map, you would see a great, and this is the crazy part, the place that we're not allowed to be Christians, over there in Asia and China, where we're not allowed, that map would be flooded with believers and followers. And then you get across the world and you see little spotty areas where I have a little bit of service here, I have a little bit of service here. You get to the United States and it's almost empty. It's such a shoddy and spotty service because we want it now. We're not willing to go through the trials. We're not willing to wait. We're the Jews. We're not willing to wait for it. That's what it's all about, is being able to be faithful to our King. They welcomed Him in as a king, but they weren't allowing Him to rule. They weren't allowing Him the opportunity to lead them. Yes, He was there to fulfill the prophecy, fulfill the purpose, but they didn't understand how He was going to do it. They never gave Him a chance to explain it. How many of you have put a time frame on where God is in your life? And how fast that you have to be accepted, or how fast that you have to get this done or that done? How fast that you put a time frame on where God is working in your life? I've caught myself, Lord, if this is where you want me to be, answer this for me. Do this for me so I know that's where I'm at. I need it by tomorrow. Not one of us can sit here and say that we've never done that. The Jews took it a step further. Crucify Him. He didn't deliver in time. He wasn't here in a half hour or less. Jesus isn't delivering a pizza, people. He's delivering our salvation. He's connecting the world together as one. His kingdom. He's bringing peace. One person at a time. And you're part of that process. You're part of that plan. We sit here and we sing our praises, and as I shared earlier, we fall on our knees, we sing our songs of praise and worship. But do we mean it? We all received our palms this morning. And some of us, during our praise and worship, we were waving them. Some of us have fashioned them into a cross. Waving that palm, taking it and fashioning it into that cross, you're acknowledging what that means. You're acknowledging our King. You're acknowledging who Christ is to you. So I have a few questions. Do you trust your King? Do you honor your King with your words and your actions? Will you do for Him when He asks you? As we said last week, here I am, Lord, send me. Will you answer Him when He calls? Or you put a time limit on how long you work for? You have patience for His timing, not your own. If you truly believe in who Jesus Christ is and what He came to do, if you believe in Zechariah's message that He is going to connect the ends of the earth in peace and harmony as one nation under God. And I'm not talking one nation under God, the United States. I'm talking one nation under God. His kingdom, the New Jerusalem, that kingdom. Do you believe that? As you wave your palm, as you sit there and fashion it into a cross, if you believe that, are you willing to pledge your life to Him? To live your life for Him? As your King? As your Savior? Are you ready to fulfill your end of that prophecy? To be His hands and feet. To be His voice. To serve Him. Serve your King. I know that's a crazy concept here in the United States. Because we don't have kings and queens. We have one King. One Savior. It's not a hierarchy. Jesus Christ came and lived and died for you, for me. If you truly believe that He is your King, are you ready to bow before Him? To pledge your life to Him? And to serve your God and your King? I ask this truthfully because sometimes the King calls us to war. Sometimes the King sends us into a place that we don't want to go. Or we don't question our King. It's something we need to understand. I don't know how many times I have conversations with people that say, it's going down a path I'm not sure I want to go down. If God, your King, is calling you, Jesus Christ, your King, is calling you to walk that path, are you willing to walk it? Do you trust your King? If you trust your King, I ask you to join me here at the altar as we kneel and pledge our allegiance to Him, our God, our King, and our Savior. Father, as we come to you this morning, Lord, I come to you and I thank you for the opportunity to serve you, to be a part of your plan, to be a part of your team, Lord, to be one of your children. Because we don't only serve a King, you've adopted us into your family. So Lord, I thank you for that. And Lord, as we come to you and we pledge our allegiance to you, we come to you and we bow down before you and we give our allegiance to you. And we ask that you raise us up with strength, with courage, and knowledge of where you want us to go and how you wish us to speak. Continue to reveal yourself to us, Lord. Continue to live within us as we kneel here this morning, we open our hearts, we open our lives, and we ask that the Holy Spirit take root. Not just come passing through, but take root. And give us the strength to speak courage and without fear to anyone who comes against us. To speak your truth, to lift up your praises, Lord. So as we come here and we bow down before you and Christ, we ask your blessing upon us, and we ask and we thank you for all the blessings that we've received thus far. Lord, I ask that we rise stronger in our faith, and that we live and serve you and honor you in all that we do. From the words from our mouth, from our actions. Lord, I ask that we serve you even in our sleep. Let us not take our eyes off of you. Let us be patient and let us be humble. Father, I ask this in the Son's name, our King's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.